Day one of CES. We have announcements from Sony, Canon, and a major Japanese retailer. But it's not what you think. This and more after the intro. Hi, I'm Simon. Thanks for tuning in to The Ordinary Filmmaker. Subscribe to get notification of new videos like this one so you don't miss any news, rumors, gear reviews, or tutorials. And to make things a little bit more exciting, I'm giving away a brand new Canon EOS R5 full-frame mirrorless camera. Details are in the description down below, or you can watch this video here. But please read the terms and conditions as there are some age and location restrictions. Day one of CES, and this was a virtual CES. It did have a few announcements, but nothing that I would really consider ground-shaking. Map Camera reported that the Canon R5 was a top-selling camera in December, and Map Camera is one of the leading camera retailers in Japan. They attributed this to an abundance of cameras being made available in December. Meanwhile, back at CES, Canon issued a press release, but it wasn't on any new camera or lenses. Canon's not known for dropping product announcements during CES. Canon instead focused on interactive digital experiences. Attendees can be inspired to transcend limits by capturing the marvels of space, the splendor of wildlife, and the nostalgia of a lost iconic sports setting. And this last one, it's referring to Love Park, which has been lost. This was considered a skater's paradise, so check out that on Canon's site if you'd like to know a little bit more. Now, using Canon's compact imaging satellites CE-SAT-1 and 2B, astronaut Marsha Evans demonstrated how the cost-effective, high-resolution satellites are making space imaging more accessible. Definitely looks like Google Earth isn't the only player on the market anymore. Now, Canon also spent time showing off their volumetric video system that promises to change the way we experience our favorite sporting events by allowing us to view the action from unlimited angles. Now, this actually isn't new. This is not some sort of announcement we're getting here at CES. Canon previously issued a press release on this technology back in September 2020. Canon also used the event to show off the wildlife capabilities of the Canon EOS R5. Charles Glatzer used the EOS R5 to photograph the famous Yellowstone wolves to showcase how the monitoring of the wolves has helped preserve the national park and its valuable inhabitants. Canon also took a moment to discuss how they helped us collaborate with the Canon EOS webcam utility with the upcoming Almos camera system to help us better engage and interact with each other through gesture-based imaging technology. Now, while many were expecting the Sony A9 Mark III, they were expecting Sony to announce this camera, and you know what? There's still time to do that. This is the first day of CES. Instead, Sony went ahead and announced AirPeak, a new drone to the market. Now, unlike other drones, AirPeak is designed to fly with just full-size mirrorless cameras like the Alpha series. It's not small like the DJI Mavic Pro, but being able to mount a full-frame mirrorless camera with drones this size provides a lot more options. Sadly, details are scarce. Now, I do have the Mavic Pro, and I've had this for a couple of years. And the very first time I got it, I crashed it. Now, thankfully, I was smart enough to realize that I probably was going to have difficulties the first time. And I did everything they said. I went to a very unpopulated area where there weren't a lot of trees, and guess what? I found a tree. So I was just doing all the basic things you would do when you're flying a drone, learning how to use it. But unfortunately, here's something you don't often think about. And I thought of this before, but I was flying it, and when the drone's going in this direction, left means left, right means right, right means right, left means left, etc. But when the drone's facing you, that's completely different. So instead of trying to avoid the tree, I crashed right into it. Now, thankfully, for $11, and remember, these drones cost over $1,000 when you fully kit them out. For $11, I bought this protective, it's not really a cage, it's more like a bumper that goes around it. So it actually bumped into that got damaged, and I was out $11 instead of a brand new drone. But the real news that no one's talking about at this year's CES is how COVID has accelerated working remotely, shopping online, and engaging through technology, socializing. Like everybody on the planet, we've been deeply affected by this new way of working. And prior to COVID, let's go back to late 2019, early 2020, for some, yes, we were working from home. If you were in the consulting line of work, you were definitely working from home. But a lot of other businesses, the idea of working from home, yeah, no, they weren't ready to jump into it. They didn't feel that they could properly monitor staff to make sure staff were actually doing the work, and that was the fear of many companies. But here we are today. They really don't have a choice, and I've seen this at the company I work for. There's been this huge push to accept technologies that were much further down the roadmap. There's this huge push to accept different types of conferencing. You know, here we are 10 months in, and doing video conferencing online through a work environment is pretty common now. Collaborating, working within a Word document. I use Word, Excel a lot, and previously we'd work on these documents, we'd check them into some sort of document management system, and you know, depending on how old your system was, you might be waiting for somebody to unlock it, or they'd have to share it to you, and things were a little bit kludgy. But now with some of these newer systems, Open Office, Microsoft Office, Office 365, and there's others, the ability to work collaboratively with people on the same document at the same time, while we're talking, while we're seeing each other, it's really, really helped. Previously, whenever I did or I wouldn't say remote meeting, but whenever I was meeting with clients using traditional technology, such as those, you've seen them in boardrooms, you have these speaker phones, and they're absolutely terrible, especially if you've got 12 to 20 people in the room. You can generally only hear the people right in front of the speakers or the speaker systems, the whatever you would call these things. What do they call them? I can't remember the name for now, but these speaker systems, they were pretty terrible. And quite often, if something had happened, I'd lost a babysitter, or you know, for whatever reason I needed to stay home and my wife couldn't stay home, I would call into work for a lot of these meetings, and most of the times I couldn't hear people. And what I ended up doing is using my smartphone. I'd call into one of my colleagues with their smartphone. They'd put it right in the middle of the boardroom table, and guess what? I could hear them clearly, and they could hear me clearly. Yet these expensive video or audio conferencing systems, these weren't even video conferencing systems, just didn't produce. And if you wanted to try and take a document and present it, well, that usually took another 5 to 10 minutes more of time to get things so that everybody could see it, because not just the people in the boardroom, but the other people who also had to call in. So here we are in early 2021. We've been doing this for the better part of a year now, and working from home seems to be pretty common in the technologies that we use. Yes, some of us are using our cameras, like our Canon cameras or our Sony cameras, our Fuji, Panasonic cameras for our meetings. I personally am not. I actually tried using my Canon 70D, and while I got it working, it only works with the Chrome version. I'm on a Mac, it only works with the Chrome version, so I found that to be rather limiting. I could see one person who's talking, I couldn't see everybody else, and what I liked about the Teams versions, for example, is you could see everybody. So when you're talking, you can read the room. And I think that's very important for these meetings, and what I think has enabled us to be able to work from home better is the technologies. It used to be that if you were on the other end of a phone call and everybody else was in the boardroom, communication didn't go that well. It was you're almost better off not calling in at all. Whereas today, I find that these tools have really empowered us to be able to work remotely. And I think there's a huge benefit to that too. Just imagine how much time you spend driving from one location to another, especially if you're a consultant. Whereas today, you know, once you're done with one call, disconnect, click join online, and you're in the other one within less than a minute. So I think there's a real big advantage to some of the technologies that have come out. But I'm really curious to see what CES is going to bring for the rest of the week. I'm not expecting many camera announcements at all, and I was even wondering if I should even bother to have a video tonight. And as of 6 o'clock, I was looking through the news. I'd scripted out a lot of what you've heard here tonight, but you know, I just didn't feel it. I didn't see enough. But a few hours later, I caught more information. I thought, okay, here's enough to do a look at day one. But if you don't see any day 2 or 3, it's because there hasn't been a lot of news. The one thing I am expecting, well, the one thing I think we could potentially see, I'm not 100% expecting this, is an announcement from Sony. Remember, this is a consumer electronics show, and Sony is a big consumer electronics manufacturer. But I'm not, as far as, are we going to get the A9 Mark III announcement? I don't know. The problem I have with Sony rumors, or not the site Sony rumors, but rumors of Sony gear, is Sony does a very, very good job of holding their secrets. Not like Canon. Canon rumors, they're all over the place, and the reason why we get so many Canon rumors is because Canon's pretty happy to leak information if they want to get a product out in the wild and get a lot of free press, which is essentially what this is. And if you think back to this time last year, we first got, I think it was right around January the 27th or 28th, that's when the first bit of leaked information came on the R5. And this wasn't a couple of things, this was very detailed information. Then about 3 weeks later, we got the development announcement from Canon, and every 3 or 4 weeks after that, we kept getting more information. But with Sony, very little. The only real information we got from Sony actually came around June the 10th last year on the A7S III, and pretty well all the rumors up to that point had been incorrect. They were wrong on the sensor size, they were wrong on the megapixels, but we all knew that it was going to be a video-centric camera and that we were going to be getting it. But outside of that, are we going to be getting the A9 Mark III? We'll just have to wait and see. The show ends on the 14th, so we'll know better by then. But that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching The Ordinary Filmmaker. Don't forget to subscribe for your chance to win the Synco S6E and M3 shotgun microphones. I'll be awarding these 2 prizes to one lucky viewer once the channel reaches 20,000 subscribers, which is just about 400 subscribers away. And then for every 10,000 subscribers from there on out, I'll be offering up a better and more expensive prize. And actually for the 30,000 mark, I've actually got 2 prizes to give away. So 2 lucky viewers. And then once this channel reaches 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to be awarding the Canon EOS R5 full-frame mirrorless camera to one lucky viewer. And on that bombshell, really the only bombshell we got in this news, thanks for watching The Ordinary Filmmaker. Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon.